You're listening to the Everyday Astrology Podcast. I'm Hilary Scott, and this is the forecast for the week of February 19th. Welcome to a whole new week. We're still kind of in the throes of the energy of last week with Mars and Pluto conjunct. It's pretty big energy that we've all got to focus on. We've just recently had Venus move into Aquarius, very different than being in Capricorn. The energy becomes much more heady and humanitarian, maybe less specific and self-centered or your own business kind of centered. We also have the sun having gone into Pisces on the 18th. So that is very different than the Aquarian energy. You're probably going to feel like you're in tune with your creative self. You're in tune with the cosmos and the ethers and things that are very amorphous and ethereal. Neptune is nothing is as it seems energy, very illusory, but it can be very glamorous and rules glamour in the film industry and the music industry. But it's also very spiritually connected and very creative and service oriented. It wants to help others. So this energy is very just within type energy. So you're going to feel the need to be more withdrawn. You have to take care of your energy. Make sure that you have some kind of spiritual practice. Maybe you're meditating or doing some sort of mantra work and mudras, whatever sort of spiritual energy that you're tapped into or that you jive with can be very much amplified and utilized during this Pisces sun for the next month. So very Piscean, very different than how things were before with the Aquarian energy. So check where it is in your chart, which house it's going to show up in. We do also have coming at the end of this week on Saturday, the 24th, a full moon in Virgo, which is Pisces opposite. So this week leading up to it is quite potent and healing, I would say. There's an opportunity, especially with Chiron closely connected to the North Node right now, and opposite the South Node, there's an opportunity to get in touch with our wounds, the parts of ourselves that were created out of a need to fit in or to be lovable to the people that are supposed to love us. That sort of energy can come to the surface right now. So you might be feeling a little edgy, maybe triggered. Stuff might be coming up. We especially have a tricky day on Wednesday because the moon will be opposite Pluto, Mars, and Venus, which can make you feel like you want to go in the opposite direction of all the stuff that might be coming up. So be aware of that. You might be feeling irritable. Like the Leo moon enjoys a good time. It wants to have fun and be creative and just sort of sow its wild oats and do whatever it wants and be joyful and happy. And then there's Pluto conjunct Venus and Mars with the moon opposite, which is triggering. It doesn't want to have to look at that, but yet that is what there is to look at. So whatever comes up in the realm of feelings and relationships and what you value, all in Aquarius right now, might have you thinking more carefully, more expansively, be in a way that can untie you from complications, or just thinking bigger is very comfortable to Aquarian energy, whereas Leo is happy to kind of think in its own realm and for its own enjoyment. And by being its own enjoying self, it shines light for everyone to see and helps others. It's very encouraging energy too, to shine light on others. So this Leo moon wants to be doing its thing, enjoying itself. And this other energy with Pluto and Venus and Mars, it's like revving up this need to explore our connections, our relationships, maybe how we're using our energy. Are we using our energy appropriately? Is there something we need to change or something we need to add to like amp up the Mars energy to get our like energy flowing and smooth? Maybe we need to change the dynamic of the relationships we're in somehow, or perhaps renegotiate what we value and what we find value in. That could all be going on. With Pluto, there's a transformation that needs to happen. Neptune that same day is there to help us have a kind of spiritual perspective, maybe tap into guides that we have around us, or ancestors, or benevolent energies that are there to help guide us and help us. Even your own higher self can be coming through while all this other more complicated stuff is happening. So just know that when you are triggered or you're feeling it can be triggering just to become aware of your own mismanagement of your own life, where you're like, oh my God, I've been doing it this way the whole time when really I should have been doing it this way. So it can be, if you're open to the truth and open to discovering what is the highest path for your own soul to the next greatest thing in your world, then this is good stuff, because these sorts of obstacles will become clear to you, what's in the way of that. On the 22nd, heading up to the full moon on the 24th, we have Venus actually conjunct Mars. So that is a very passionate, fiery, but it's in Aquarius. So I think the passionate, fiery aspect of it is sort of diluted more because Aquarius is an air sign. But it is these two forces, Venus, what we value, what we love, how we have relationships, how we connect to others, is with what we have the energy for, Mars. So those two are fusing together. So all planets are direct right now. If there's something that you need to get done, something you would like to initiate or move towards, wait for the signal and move towards it. This is a good week for initiation. And we're coming up to the actual beginning of the year in March, when the sun goes into Aries, and that's the beginning of the whole cycle in spring. So even just getting your ducks in a row mentally, like what you would like to create, how you will create that. Be very diligent in keeping track of what comes to you, write things down. That same day on the 22nd, the moon will be squaring Jupiter and Uranus. So there's this big, maybe electric energy. You might have a lot of energy that you need to spend. So exercise if you can, do whatever feels good. Maybe you want to dance, maybe you want to hike, whatever it is that you do to keep your body moving and the energy flowing. This day is a good day to do it, because it's a very amped up day with Jupiter and Uranus together. And Uranus is like our electrical system, so it can be very insomnia creating, or we just feel fidgety, or there's like a buzz or a hum or a frequency sound in your head that Uranus can sometimes be responsible for. And Jupiter can just jack it all up because it amplifies everything. So be aware that it might be a pretty busy day. I mean, the whole week, again, has got a lot going on. So keep that in mind. On the 23rd, Mercury will move into Pisces. This isn't ideal, because Pisces is not in a good position Mercury is not in a great position in Pisces. Mercury is how we think, how we communicate. And in Pisces, it's not very clear. It can't, it forgets what it was saying, and it stops things in the middle of starting them. And it's really not a go forth and get stuff done, which counteracts what I was saying earlier about getting things done. It's more of a dreamy mind kind of energy. So if you can be receptive, keep your channels clear, make sure you're taking care of your energy. I would enlist some smudging and some intentional energy clearing, clear things out of your frequency. You don't want to be picking up anybody else's thoughts or ideas, which can happen. You could become very telepathic with Mercury in Pisces, very much picking up the collective energy and thoughts that are happening around you. So be careful what environments you put yourself in, what you listen to, what you digest, and be ready to create art, some kind of art, whatever your art is, however you express yourself in the artistic ways that are unique to you. This next few weeks with Mercury going through Pisces will be really good for helping you do that and helping you get in touch with the soft, creative, we are all one energy of Pisces. You're going to also be feeling the full moon coming this whole week too, especially from the 21st on. And it is a full moon in Virgo. Virgo is a very specific, very discerning, very much the natural remedy energy of the zodiac, wants to heal things and improve things and find all the details that aren't in the right place and put them in the right place. It's very meticulous energy. If you're so lucky to have someone with Virgo in your chart, in their chart, like be your partner or an assistant or a friend, then you are so lucky, because it's a very helpful energy and it can see often mistakes that you don't even see. And that's nice. And they're also often very honest, very forthright. It's a very honest energy. It wants to be, the morals are usually quite high standing with Virgo energy. So on this full moon, we have Venus squaring Jupiter. This moon will be trining Jupiter, so that helps. It's opposite Saturn, which can make it sort of tricky, because Saturn can be the naysayer, the critical voice, the part of us, like as if we don't actually need this energy, because Virgo already does all that. It can be very self-critical and criticizing, and to have Saturn like lumped in there, it's just adding an extra layer. So it actually could be a good day if you have to like do something very specific, or like you need to make sure that you check all the details and you don't miss any important points, and you're make sure you respond on time and all the things that you need to do to get your life in order. This energy can be very helpful with that. Watch for inner criticism, also for critiquing others unnecessarily. It's often coming from a place of wanting to help, but it can be very hindering for especially creative people who are trying to express themselves. To be criticized can be very painful. So Virgo can be critical, so be aware of that. You might have to be dealing with that on some level with this Virgo full moon. Also, everything is heightened on the full moon. The sun and the moon are in opposite signs, so it can often like shine a big light onto what we are pushing into the subconscious. So that's why it can feel like a lunatic when the moon is full, because the stuff you wouldn't face in your regular daily world starts coming to light, and you start feeling what's really true for you with the full moon. So this Virgo moon should give you some very important details about what is important and what is true for you in this world. Venus squaring Jupiter can amplify all of that. Emotionally too, you might find that your values and what you value comes to the fore, and you could feel kind of emotionally like a little drippy or confused, or just the emotions that you're feeling might get unnecessarily amplified with the Jupiter. But it could be a good thing too, like perhaps you have a little niggling feeling about something that you keep ignoring. Jupiter will come and make it right in your face so that you don't ignore it anymore. And that's very helpful of Jupiter, right? Very helpful. You don't want to miss anything. You don't want to just be ignoring your true self and not following your own intuition, because that's what our inner guidance system is for. You want to follow it. So this Virgo moon, make sure you write down what you're wanting to release. Virgo's very good for healing too. If you have any chronic conditions that you want to get rid of, this moon will be very helpful for that. Also, starting any kind of regime of health, an exercise regime, healthy eating, whatever is healthy eating for you, would be very important right now. Release things that are toxic. Get rid of habits that are toxic, food that is toxic. Like gluten can be very gluey in the system. It can affect your thinking and your inflammation. So that's a great one to get rid of, and you'll feel better right away. Or whatever, sugar, obviously sugar, anything that is not good for you, Virgo will help you get rid of it and be such a good ally in that. Very helpful. And you'll be able to see clearly, maybe this is a great time to write a list of the things you want to change. Very like point form. I want to start drinking more water. I want to add lemon to my water, whatever. Be very detailed, because you're going to get a lot of insight into what you specifically need with this Virgo moon energy. It helps you edit all that is not appropriate for you out of your life. Very helpful. And the full moon energy, as it reaches full, then it starts to diminish again to new, and it takes whatever negative thoughts or ideas or habits that you want to release and takes them away with the light of the moon. So it's a very helpful time to do that, to consider revamping your health routines and how you live your life to make it a lot more harmonious and resistance free, and so that you're healthy. And when you're healthy, then you can be a lot more effective and enjoy life, obviously, a lot more. So that Virgo moon on the 24th, it will be exact at 4:30 a.m. Pacific. So keep that in mind. And then on the 25th, this is a nice day. You're going to have lots of energy. Very good day to keep riding the tails of the full moon in Virgo and like clear the clutter. Clear out things you don't use anymore. Get rid of stuff that's not important in your life. All the little details. Go through your drawers and get rid of the things in the junk drawer that are never going to be used. And even in your, like, where you keep all of your sheets and your towels, go in there and get rid of stuff you don't use. Get rid of old papers. Get rid of old books. Get rid of everything that's in the way. And then you clear the energy to open up and bring new things into your life. It's like you create a vacuum by clearing it. So you should have a lot of energy on the Sunday with the Uranus trining the moon. You're going to feel good, and you're going to feel like getting rid of stuff that you don't need. So the full moon is also very helpful for that. So though it's an intense week and there's a lot of healing opportunities available, just remember that that's why you came. And if you weren't here and you weren't aware of all the opportunities to change and heal, and I mean, what would be the point, right? I mean, maybe there's a point, but maybe there's a point and you don't have to do all the healing and changing and transformation that it seems to take to live a good life. But astrology really does help you see the opportunities and the frequencies that we've got going on. And especially in your own birth chart too. It helps to know your birth chart so that you can be sure to follow along and learn what you need to learn so you're prepared for the energies that are coming. If you do want a birth chart reading, I do readings, and I'm very happy to do your reading. I do mini readings too, which is a nice way to see whether you like my style or what you might be interested in your own chart. And those are very affordable at $30 USD, where I will need your birth information and I will do a 30-minute reading with your specific information, specifically about your chart, and gives you kind of a peek into the potentiality of your chart and whether you want to go deeper and do a deep dive into more extensive reading with me. So if that is something you are interested in, please feel free to contact me. The information is in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. Many blessings of practicality and progress and clearing the energy for this Virgo full moon.